It's time to embrace it. The Community Podcast, exploring the intricacies of personal growth, mental health, and resilience in the face of life's challenges. Topics tailored for a global audience. Now, let's talk about it with your host, Bracy Goodwin.
Good afternoon, good evening, good morning to wherever you are watching. My name is Bracy Goodwin, and welcome to the Embrace It Community Podcast for this Sunday, July 27th, 2025. I'm actually home, so that's why you see everything today, because this is like kind of like a non-formal, anything in the background, because I want to talk about some stuff that we need to talk about at home. So that's why this is pretty much going to be just an open forum. I want you to chime in. I got a good co-host that's going to come on, but we're going to just be talking just real talk, nothing formal. Next week we'll be in the studio. I'm working on that. It should be all set up. And so I'm excited. It has been a year since this idea developed, and I got a chance to look back in my phone, and I noticed the video that I had when I first was given the opportunity or the idea, which was by my son, Javon. And he said to me, "Dad, I want you start a podcast." And trust me, I didn't know anything about this. I wasn't even thinking podcast, didn't want to even do this, didn't know how to do it, didn't have the equipment to do it. And he invested in me to get this thing started. So shout out to my son, Javon Jones, for doing this. I love you, son. Thank you for seeing something in me that I didn't see. And now it has grown to over a year. So I'm excited. I am truly excited about the journey from 1 year ago to today. And so many people have come to me in private. So many people have come to me openly and said, "Thank you. Thank you for sharing, man. I like what you're doing. Keep it up. It's good stuff." From being transparent to talking about mental health, from talking about spiritual health, to talking about your physical health. We are touching every topic. And that's what this podcast is about. It's about you. It's about your life. It's about how you're thinking, how you're walking, and how you're talking, and how you're feeling about yourself. So I am excited. So, as I always do, when I start my podcast off, I like to definitely talk about topics that I am a big advocate for. 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. I'm a big advocate, and I'll tell it each and every time. You are not alone. We are here for you. I'm here from you. You do have a voice, and you mean something to us, and we value you. So you are important. We need you here. So at anytime, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. It's in English and it's in Spanish, and your conversation is confidential and it's free. Just dial 988. 988. This is the number that you would call to get you some help with somebody to talk to. So I want you to keep that in mind. It may not be you, it may be somebody you know. Send it to them in the chat. You never know if a person's name or heart or anything like that is laid upon your heart. Just send them a chat. "Hey, I'm thinking about you. Hope you're doing okay." And send them the 988 Suicide Crisis Hotline, because we never know. Because it is a silent killer. It could be me. It could be you. It could be anyone you pass, or you'll say, "I didn't know. I didn't see the signs." And we don't. We don't see the signs. I've lost friends. I've lost loved ones to it as well. So we don't know. We just don't know. So keep that in mind. I'm a big advocate on that. Okay. But thank you all for following us. And I want to talk about also following me. I need you all to start following me now that I'm a year in. I got to get my YouTube followers up. So pass the word, man. Share it. YouTube. Subscribe on YouTube. Embrace It Community Podcast. That's the YouTube connection there, youtube.com. Go ahead, Embrace It Podcast. I need you to follow me on there, because I'm trying to do something better this year. I'm trying to really make this thing grow. I have so many ideas and so many things that's inside of me, man. I want to make this thing grow. So I need you to jump on board right now. Share this with somebody that you know. Yes, I'm waiting for you to do it now. I'm going to say it. Come on in, share it, whatever you need to do. Take a minute and just hit share and send it to somebody on your thousands of friends list and ask them to just go ahead. I'm doing it too while I'm talking to you, and just ask them to follow me on YouTube. Okay. So please do me a favor, help me out, help brother out and get it up there. Also, you can buy me a coffee. This website here is called buymeacoffee.com /embrace it. Now it's on there. It says $20, $25. No. I'm only you can put in there your amount, $2, $1. Buy me a coffee. Spread the word. Send this to somebody and help support the Embrace It Community Podcast. Because one thing I'm not going to do is I'm not going to beg people. I'm not going to lock the church doors. I'm not going to beg you for $20. I'm not doing that. But if you love what you're hearing and love what you're seeing and really want to support me, this is the way you can do it. Buymeacoffee.com. That is the way to do it for me. There is a Cash App, but you just going to have to throw it in the chat that you want to send a Cash App. And so we'll put that out there for you, but I'm not going to just have that on my ticket tape asking you like some people do. I'm not doing that. So I just want to see if you would just buy me a coffee. Okay. So remember, that's another way to do it as well. So yeah, so I'm excited. Like I said, this show is just so relaxed. So just relax because I'm at home. And guess what? I'm at peace. And that's what we're talking about today. We're going to dive deep into a real conversation about real life stuff that goes on. And sometimes we find it a struggle to find peace. Okay. So my question all this week has been, what brings you peace? What brings you peace? Because there's two types of peace. There's internal peace and external peace. So how do you find your peace? And then how do you preserve your peace at the same interim? How do you do that? And what does peace of mind look like in our daily life? Peace can't just be one day out the week. I know as a man, I need peace every day. And if you can't seem to find peace in your everyday living, there's some things that you might have to let go. There's some people that you just might have to let go. If you got somebody that just calls you on a regular basis, complaining, murmuring about the same thing that you've been talking to them about and giving them the avenues and the tools, it could be your children. I heard this word this morning, we want our children not to make the mistakes that we made so that they can have peace. And we try to impart in them the knowledge, but they don't want to listen. But when they get into trouble, they want our help. And then we have to say to them, you need my help, but you didn't need my knowledge. I heard that today, and my pastor, Bishop Thomas, preached that this morning. Man, it was so good. It was so good. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. And then, we're going to be talking. This is probably going to go past today. It's probably going to be another part two of this for next Sunday because it's so deep. And I want people to chime in. I want people to leave comments and talk to me about this because I know I'm not the only one feeling that I need peace at times and didn't know how to find peace and didn't know where to get it from. I know I'm not the only one. If I'm the only one that's feeling that way, okay, well, stop the world and I'll get off. But I know I'm not the only one. So I know that there are people who are struggling, who are dealing with trying to find that peace because they don't actually know what brings them peace. So we're going to be talking about that. And then before we do that, we go into that. How can we pray for you? How can we pray for you? My bachelor's degree is in Christian counseling, and my master's degree is in chaplaincy. So I'm studying chaplaincy. I'm getting ready to go back to school in about 3 weeks to get my master's of divinity in this here field because I'm serious about what I'm doing. I don't want to just be good at what I'm doing. I want to master what I'm doing. So my question to you today is how can we pray for you? How can we pray for you? You can write us at Embrace It Community Podcast at gmail.com, or you can leave an anonymous prayer request on my chaplain prayer line. Here's the number: 214-295-5628. 214-295-5628. You can call that number. You don't have to leave your name. and just leave your prayer request there for me to retrieve. And what I'll do is I will be making sure that I'm going to stand in agreement with you for your prayer request. There were times in my life when I would say, I'm praying for people, or when I played for churches, I played every Sunday and I would go to church. I was jacked up mentally, but I had to go in and perform and play for the people to bring the people into a place of worship. But I was crying on the inside, and I didn't think anyone noticed it until one Sunday, um, in Ohio. Pastor Bo Burns, his mother, came over to me while I was playing, and she said to me, "I can tell you need a mother's hug." And it must have been all on my face. And when she hugged me, I cried like a baby. So sometimes people suffer in silence, but someone tunes into what's going on and can see what you don't think people can see. Some people try to put on that face or that smile when they go into a church or into work or anything like that. But in the meanwhile, they're suffering. And that's why I talk about suicide prevention, because I work for a company where a lady that came to work, smiled like nothing was wrong, and then went home and committed suicide. So this is why we're doing it. So this is why I said, how can I pray for you? Well, Bracy, I don't believe in prayer. I don't believe in God. That's fine. That's fine. Is there something that you want to talk about with me? We can talk about that too. And I'll listen, because that's what my studies in. Chaplaincy, I'll listen. Ministry of presence. I'm just going to be there and I'm going to listen to you. So if that's what you want to do, you just want to talk, let's talk. I'll listen. And if I can't help you, I'm going to lead you into the direction where I know you can get professional help, licensed counselors, licensed therapists, because I too had to go that very same way to get licensed counselors and licensed therapists. So don't feel bad at all that you would have to reach out to somebody, because this is not so much, this is about your relationship and how you're feeling. Okay, so it's not about religion. Okay, I'm not trying to be religious on here. I'm trying to have a relationship with people that will trust in me to guide them in the right path to do better in my community, in this Embrace It Community podcast community. So that's what I'm doing. All right, so this number will be scrolling throughout the whole evening tonight. It will be scrolling at the bottom. So if you didn't get it, I'll say it again, 214-295-5628. That's how you can call. You call in now and leave your prayer request, and we'll get it before the show is over. And we'll be praying for you, okay? So that's the important thing I want to do. So now I want to be honest with you. This topic tonight that we're talking about, and I'm saying tonight, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, it hits close to home for me. What brings you peace? So as I breathe, I had to I had to realize that I've been in a relationship, okay, where my need of peace was misunderstood, where I was taking time out for myself was looked at as being suspicious or selfish. So, and it triggered some areas in the person I was in the relationship with to act out in a way that I didn't see going into this relationship with this person. And this person, numerous times, false accusations, tracked my phone, wanted to know where I was, checking my text, all of this stuff. And you listen, we don't need that. That's not what we need. It can turn your search for peace into a source of conflict. And that's what it began to do. There was nothing but conflict that I experienced. And maybe one day I'll share it, exactly what happened. Maybe one day I'll do it. I don't know. But I'm not ashamed to talk about it because I know God protected me from that. There was some things that was brought up against me that wasn't true. And I know for a fact that had it been true, I wouldn't be sitting here today talking to you about this. I wouldn't. So I know me and God knows me. And so he protected me from that. So, but that's exactly why we need to talk about this. So I want you to watch something. I'm about to put something on for you, and I'll be back in about 2 minutes. But watch this video and let it resonate, okay? And let's talk about it when I come back.
At the damage stress, worry, and anxiety does to your body. Tension and muscle aches, stress. Elevated blood pressure, stress. Heart problems, stress. Headaches, migraines, stress. Problems sleeping at night, stress. Depression and anxiety, stress. What is not shocking is the fact that some of us live under daily stress all the time. The American Journal of Psychology suggests that 73% of us have something to worry about before 9 a.m. in the morning. That 43% of adverse health conditions are the result of stress. That 61% of us fail to get a good night's sleep because we're worried and upset about something. That our lives are filled with worry and anxiety that plagues us every day. Well, the next time worry wakes you up at night, the next time stress finds you out early in the morning, the next time your heart is racing and your blood pressure is going up because you're anxious about what awaits you around the corner, I want you to hear these words of the Apostle Paul. Be anxious for nothing. Be worried about nothing. Be stressed out about nothing. Be upset about nothing.
We were not designed by God to live in an atmosphere that isn't peace. Your body has to live in peace to be healthy.
I'm sorry, my mic was muted. I just wanted to play this for a few minutes. And I just wanted you to all listen to what causes stress. And we talked about that. And we talked about anxiety. We talked about your mental health. We talked about all of these things. And while I was listening to this, it reminded me of a time in my life, and I'm going to bring my co-host on because I got a good co-host, and we're going to talk about this together. We can share some of this stuff too. But stress, if you are walking around in a life full of stress, or like, was said in the video where you find yourself waking up and stressing about something, something is wrong. So we need to dig deep into this subject. What brings you peace? Yes, we are all dealing with financial issues. A lot of us are a paycheck away from being homeless. This is where the economy is. But one thing I know for sure, as a once again living testimony about this, God will never leave you nor forsake you. That I know. Because one of these days, it might have to be on the next show that I have on next Sunday. It'll probably be this will be a part two. I'm going to talk about some things that I know God protected me from and shield me from. And you are probably going to drop your jaw from listening to what I'm going to express. And it'll probably help somebody before you do that. One thing I want to do before I bring on my co-host, I forgot I have a gift. And I want to talk about this coworker of mine. She works with me. Her name is Lisa Maria. She has written a journal book. And the first one is called Threads of Her Life, A Mother's Journey Through Memories and Faith. It's a guided journal for mothers to leave a legacy of her story. And I talked to her this evening and we talked about it. during work time. And this is the journal book that she has out. And she has given us two of the books for her to give away. And I want to give these books away to my first two people to write in the chat her life for the ladies. Be the first two, and we're going to get your information. And I want to give you this journal here. And I want to just I came across one of the pages that I was flipping through it that I found to be interesting. And this is the journal you can leave for your children, your grandchildren. We got to leave a legacy, believe it or not. It wasn't done for us, but we are in the time now. We want to leave a legacy. So first two people to write in the chat for the ladies, her life, you're going to get a free copy of this. It's also on Amazon, but I got two I got given away. One of the pages in here is page 19, and it starts off with chapter 3, Teenage Years, a journey through a pivotal years of discovery and growth. Don't let anyone look down on you because you are young, but set an example for believers in speech, in conduct, in love, in faith, and in purity. And so you can write in here, ladies. It's already preferred out to you to say, what was your teenage life like? Then what was middle school? What middle school did you attend and what years? And what high school did you attend? What years did you graduate? And what was your first job? How much did you make per hour? So this right here is for the first two ladies. Oh, we got one, Tanya. All right, Tanya, that's one. Her life. So we got Tanya, that's one given away. We got one more. So just put in the chat, her life. And I'm going to get this to you. All right. This is a really good journal book that my coworker has out for you. And then for the men, we didn't leave you out also. She got one for us, brothers, in his words. It's a journal, wisdom, faith, and legacy, self-guided journal for men. And I was going through this and I started writing in mine. This one's mine. I got two of these also I want to give away. So if you want one, gentlemen, men, type in the chat in his words. And I got two of these to give away in his words. Or ladies, if you want to get one for whoever, type in there in his words. I'm gonna get rid of them. And then you have to go on Amazon to buy your own. So ladies, you can do that too. So if you want one for, someone in your life that you want to really impact on, your brother, cousin, husband, boyfriend, whatever, whoever it is, type in the chat in his words and we'll get this to you. So far I got anybody else? Okay. Latoya, her life. Okay, so there's the two. So Tanya Daly Pullen and Latoya Smith. We got you covered. Those are the ladies' books. And then this is the men. And then I found on page 25 for the men, it says, becoming a man. And 1 Corinthians 16:13, be watchful, stand firm in your faith, act like men, be strong. And so this page starts off as a journal page, and it asks the question, what does manhood mean to you? Ooh, that's good. And how has it changed you over the years? This is mine, and this is what I'm going to leave my legacy for. I got 7 grandbabies, and I realize that I'm not going to be here forever. And by the time they get married, I probably won't be here. But if the Lord say so, I'll live to see 105 or whatever it is. We'll be able to talk about this. But I'm going to leave a legacy for my grandchildren. Somebody's going to pick this up. I got Grandpa's book, and let's read about what he did so they can share with their children and so on and so forth. So Latoya, thank you. You got one. Tanya Pullen, you got one as well. We'll still have the 2 men. So the 2 ladies are gone, but 2 men are still here in the book. So now let's get this thing going. I want to introduce my guest to you this evening. He's been waiting patiently in the room here. My brother from another mother. I talk about this man all the time. We've been friends over 15, maybe 20 plus years. My good friend, oh man, words cannot express how much I love this man. And you know what, Curtis, let me go ahead and bring Curtis on so y'all can see what I'm talking about. Curtis, come on in, brother, man. Good to see you. Good to see you, man. Is your mic on? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, man. Let's make that look. That's good. Curtis Jones, like I said, a brother from another mother, because we met, I think we met prior to started driving bus, right?
Yes.
We
yes.
met prior starting bus.
We met at church.
We met at church. Right, right, right. We were all going to the same church together, man. And when I tell you, listen, I ain't nothing funny in my tank. When I say I love this brother, I love this brother for real. Like he's my own brother. Ain't nothing funny in my tank. Ain't got no sugar in the tank or nothing. Him and I drove bus together with the Central Ohio Transit Authority. What? Look at us, man. We was the sharpest. We was the sharpest bus drivers that they had. People talked about our shoes because we had them patent leather shoes. We stayed clean. They laughed and talking about bullying, man. Bullying was taking place at Coda, man, because when I walked in the door, people, because I had a hat on and it was making jokes like, "Hey, Ralphie boy," this is what they were saying to me, man. And there was so much jealousy behind that. But the compliments that I got while driving the bus from the passengers, they were like, "Man, oh man, that's real professional, man. Looking at you." And then one guy got on the bus. He said, "Oh shoot, I was about to run. I thought you was the cops. I got a warrant." And then, so we had some good time. Curtis, do me a favor, man. Introduce yourself. Tell us about you, man. Tell the people about you, man. Tell them about you.
Well, I am Curtis Anthony Jones Sr. I'm
See,
married to Elder Veronica Jones, and we have 26 years, July the 31st this month.
26 years.
26 years.
Wow.
Yes, 20 wonderful years. It's just, I'm grateful and thankful every day.
Yeah.
To have her in my life, and it's the ultimate.
When I first met your wife, I used to call her Tamla Man, and I still call her that to this day.
Yeah, everybody say that, Tamla Man.
She sings and looks just like her too, so I call her Tamla Man. That's my girl. That's my girl, man. Yeah, bro. Yeah. What else you gonna share?
And I have two children. They're grown. Son, which is CJ Jr., Mariah.
That's right.
Her wonderful husband, Jarrell, and our beautiful new addition, our grandson.
Yeah, I saw him earlier, man. Listen, it's okay. Like I said, this non-formal podcast we're doing today. If you want to jump up on you, man, that's fine. Let him come on in because we got to train. We got to train him up, man. We got to train him up, man. Right?
If he knew I was down, he'd probably bust in the door and say, "Papa." So, but he's
yeah. I get it, man. I love the grandbabies.
Also, I spent 10.5 years as a bus driver, Central Ohio Transit Authority. And, it's been a nice journey. I'm looking at retirement, maybe within a year or so, like that, thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, it's that time to move on,
Yeah.
But it's been a great journey, and, we'll take it one day at a time and see what happens,
Absolutely. We all got a season for everything. I thought I was going to be there forever and ever, because when I got with Central Ohio Transit Authority in 2013, I said, this is it. I'm here to stay because I need to retire. God saw different, well, and some choices that I made too. Wasn't always God. I made some choices, to jump off the GPS track wagon, but he brought me back in. I'm here in Dallas, Texas now, and you've talked to me through my journey. When I didn't have peace, and when I did have peace. So that's why I said, what better person to bring on is my brother, where we can really talk about this peace. We always talked about what does peace look like. We always wanted to say, man, I just want some peace. I think we talked about like going fishing and all of this stuff that we just talked about want to do because this is the stuff that brought us peace. So that's why I got you on, man. I just wanted to ask you, what does peace mean to you personally? What does it mean? How do you define peace, or what is peace? What is peace?
Peace is just that inner just inner peace. When you had a relationship with God, family.
Yes.
And that's where I find my peace at. First of all, God. That's where I find my number one peace. Then it's my family. That's the ultimate right there. Having them in my life and stuff that's just, there's none equal to that,
Right. And like you said, you're out there on the bus driving with people who are having mental challenges.
It's very tough. There are days, man, that I want to tap in because it's so much, because your peace is affected. You
Yeah.
know, it's you're dealing with so much. So then you have to find that out, you know, when you have to find that peace somewhere, you know. And I'm not speaking in a bad way about the job. I'm just saying you're dealing with the public, with
Deal with the
people,
public,
man.
right? People,
Yeah.
right, right. And this
Um,
community. This ain't even a congregation. Imagine what a
yeah,
pastor. We deal with the community. That's our
yeah.
ministry. We dealing with them.
hmm
Bus driver is a ministry, bro. That's a ministry,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
You
And
know?
ain't no way it does wear you out. You will get tired. I find myself sometimes, Bracy, not want to deal with people when I'm off work, you know, and I don't know if that's good or bad. I might isolate myself. Don't want to talk because every day you're dealing with so much. And sometimes
Right,
that's how I find my peace. People
right,
may not understand it, but it's like, okay, that a long time. I'm at home. It's like,
right.
because you got so many people coming at you in your space. So, you know, I find myself just, I'm a people person, but not wanting to be around people when I'm off. You know, it's just sometimes that's my inner peace that I find, you know?
So can I ask a question? You know, when you come home, you've been married longer than Jesus. No, I'm just messing with you. um, you had to. Your wife had to understand the difference between when you come home and say, "I'm tired," and when you come home and say, "I just need peace." She
Mhm.
had to understand that, right? And she has. She pretty
Yeah,
much knows the difference between the two.
yeah, she did, you know, and it was hard for her because she knew when I was coming home sometime that the struggle was there and stuff, you know,
Right,
trying to find that peace, you know, and it was like, oh wow, it was tough, you know,
right.
being away from the family and stuff like that, and you know, it was tough, but she was very understanding, man, very
Yeah,
supportive,
yeah.
you know, letting me just like, okay, I'm letting be, you know, letting go
Let 'em be.
downstairs and relax, you know,
Right, right.
I, I'm a 57-year-old man. I still play video games sometimes, but that's sometimes is my relaxation.
That's your piece, right, right.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
remember we talked about this. We got excited for watching In the Heat of the Night like it was a new show coming out.
Oh, yeah,
These
yeah,
amazing you like, "I'm about to watch In the Heat of the Night." What is on? And we turn it on because that's where we find peace. Looking
yeah,
at those actors who we admire, you know, Carol
yeah.
O'Connor, you know, and all of those people from that show. And there's some Curtis,
hmm
every day I work home, when I work remotely from home, that's on my TV while I'm working
Yeah,
in the heat of the
yeah,
night.
yeah.
I don't know what it is about that show, but that's the
Well,
only thing I watch.
I like the show because I don't know. I always told you, I said I see myself in a small town,
Oh,
eating at the
yeah, right,
cafe,
right,
drinking a
right.
cup of coffee and a piece of apple pie,
Yeah,
and that's what that show actually
yeah,
brings peace because it's like, oh man, it's
yeah.
like, you know, that small town atmosphere. So that's, you know, I think that's reason we like it a whole lot, you know?
Right, 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 right. Man, that answers the question, you know, what of a peaceful day look at for us? And you know, on Saturdays, now Monday through Friday is in the heat of the night for me, and then on Saturdays is westerns. You know,
hmm
Saturday morning I get up, make my breakfast, and I watch my westerns, man. I just watch
Yeah.
the old west. Some of them I can stomach, and some of them I turn from because we know what they ain't telling the truth about the West.
Yeah.
West was one and all of that stuff. So, but that's my Saturday, you know. But yes, so we have to, as men, we have to juggle this time for us with,
hmm
and then we have to juggle with our family, and then we have to put in there, you know, church and giving God His time and everything
Yeah.
like. So we have to make sure we kind of balance it. And then sometimes we can get off balance, but I think the most important thing is knowing where your piece is internally and externally and knowing how to get there. And the people that's in your circle understand exactly what you're saying and what you
Yeah.
mean. Because, like I said, I was in a relationship where that was taken as I'm doing something. You
Yeah.
don't love me. What are you doing? Why are you sitting there? Why are you not talking? And it just bothered me to a point, just being transparent, bruh. It bothered me to a point where I said, I'm done. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
And my pastor preached about that today, and he was very transparent. He
Mhm.
was transparent, man. He talked about him and his dad, and when his dad introduced him to his son that wasn't by his mother. And
Mhm.
the church got quiet, man. Like, you know, people didn't know that
Yeah.
this is my son. Did the wife adapt that right away? No, she didn't. She didn't do it. Now you're trying to balance all of this stuff. Now his mother was to the father like bum, 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 and so on 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 and so on. And he said, my dad said, let it go. Just let it go. But she wouldn't let it go. And she just kept going on and on and on and on and on. And he just screamed her name out. Stop. Just stop it. Just stop it. When I'm telling you, the sisters in the church got so quiet and you could tell on their faces, that wouldn't have been me. Da, 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 da. Well, you know what? You got to give that man peace. He admitted what he did, but that didn't mean that he wanted you to come. Okay, we're gonna work this thing out. Remember the movie Fences? Remember that movie Fences with Denzel?
Yeah.
That's just the exact same thing. I mean, it's somewhat like the same thing, but when talking about peace, he found peace going down the bar, but he had another way. But we come home, we talk about when we come home and how we want to do and how we would like our house to be. So how do we maintain the boundaries around our peace? You talked about it. You said your wife is truly understanding. So you set the boundaries and she respects the boundaries, right?
Yes.
Okay.
The piggyback on what you were saying, I know the three things, and there's three pieces in my vocabulary.
Okay.
There's a natural peace, there's good peace, and there's bad peace. I think what you were saying, people deal with bad peace because we find peace that will satisfy our flesh. And when I say that, I don't want to look into it the wrong way, but it could be alcohol, gambling.
Yes.
People resort to domestic violence. It's all kind of stuff, And I think that when we find that bad peace, we're afraid to talk about it because we're afraid what people are going to say.
Right.
Why is he doing this? He's trying to find peace. It's in a way that's like, wow, what's he doing? And can I be transparent?
Yes.
I've had multiple surgeries, Bracy. Times driving the bus out in true pain, and it was altering my peace, man. I was coming home. The hours were long and stuff like that. And there were times, and I never talked about it because I was afraid to tell people. There was times that, man, doctor had prescribed me pain pills. I thought about it a couple times, and I'm tired, but I knew that if I did that, that would open a door,
Right.
And there were times I did take pain pills, not on a regular, but just to kill the pain. But I said, man, this is not good. Because, I was trying to find peace, to heal my body from the physical hurt, but also inner. I was like, okay, I'm take this. I'm not going to hurt. I'm not going to be frustrated, And that's what I consider the bad peace, because I was turning toward something that wasn't good, Not that I never had an issue with that, but it was just the temptation, like, man, I'm tired, I'm frustrated, I'm hurting. But I knew that would open a door that, that could be bad. So I get something like, it's bad peace,
Yes.
And some people turn to gambling and other things and stuff like that, alcohol, and it happens. But as men, sometimes we're afraid to talk about it to people. Like, hey, this is what I thought about.
Right. We're afraid to talk about the real stuff that we thought about. You said something in this too. You said domestic violence when you was naming all this stuff. And it's funny that you said that because next month we're going to be talking about the whole month of August, domestic violence, and it ain't just the man on the woman. It's the women on the man. So we're going to talk about that next month. Now I have to bring you in there. But like you said, the alcohol, I remember with my father he was drinking. He had that PTSD coming on from the Marine Corps. And the only thing that he knew is the drink. We've seen it. We've seen it as we were growing up in kids. And we saw what it produced. We saw the domestic violence that it produced. We saw that the arguing and the stuff that we put our fingers in our ears because here we go, here it comes. And we didn't want to hear it. We didn't want to put that into our spirit, into who we were, because we were supposed to be a product of our environment.
Yeah.
You notice that we're not, man. And that's nothing but the grace of God, man, being in our lives, man. And so This is what I'm saying, man. Thank you for sharing that, man. Did you have? I think you had one more. You said, or you said I'm all three. Did you have one more? I want to make
You know, and there's good peace. You know, and I think that's when you're praying directly to God.
right.
And in that good peace, sometimes you gotta be willing to accept that God will remove things to bring you that peace. Things that we're unable to remove, Bracy. You know,
Yeah.
we're holding on to stuff, and God said, "Hey, you really want that peace? I'm gonna remove some stuff out your way to give you that ultimate peace." You know, but you gotta be willing to say, "Hey, okay, you know, these things are not bringing me peace." So God said, "Okay, I'm gonna move it out the way for you."
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Gonna
so
move you
I
out.
can say
Right.
that, yeah.
Yeah. You know, I'm gonna be transparent. I'm sorry. This is my show. I'm gonna be transparent. And we talk
Yes, sir.
when we're talking about peace. I was living in a house, and I was married to the woman, and the peace was there was no peace. There was nothing but negative energy, and she tried her best. She tried her best to get me out of the house by methods of false accusations. I'm talking
Mhm.
false. Every time I turned around, the police would come into the house.
Yeah.
Every time. And the first
Mhm.
time, when I try to share this with, with some people, they say, "Well, what did you do? You sure you didn't do nothing?" I said, "Here we go. Why does it always have to be
Mhm.
about me? That's not
Mhm.
who I am." No, it wasn't about me. It's just the choice I made. And so I never forget the counselor saying to me this. He said it just like this. He's because he knew. He
Mhm.
couldn't share with me what he knew because he got it from her counselor, but in
Yeah.
confidentiality. But he did say this. He said, "Bracy, what would you do if I was a weather forecaster and I told you there was a storm, hurricane, tornado headed directly for the house that you are
Mhm.
in? Would you stay or would you leave?"
Yeah.
I said, "I would leave."
Mhm.
He said, "That's what I need you to do right now." He
Yeah.
couldn't tell me why. He could
Mhm.
not tell me why. So I packed up my stuff. He said, "I don't care if you leave your best shoes. Get up out of that house."
Yeah.
I was like, "Whoa, what's going on?" Because, like, again, I don't. So I left, Curtis. I got up out of
Mhm.
there, and I never forget, I'm crying because I'm going from a 2,400 square foot home that I invested in. I put
Mhm.
money in, I'd added on and put furniture, furnished the whole house. And I'm now moving into a bedroom about 795 square feet.
Mhm.
And I'm going into this house and I'm bringing my stuff into this house. Um, and I'm unpacking and I'm looking at everything old, outdated, didn't, nothing was, and I'm complaining, "God, why did I have to leave?" And I'm crying, bro. Tears was
Yeah.
falling down my eyes. I'm crying.
Mhm.
And I'm like, "I don't understand this. And why did that?" And I heard God's voice say this just as clear as I'm talking to you, "But you're not in jail." And I
Yeah.
was like, "Oh, shoot. Yeah. Woo. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to fix this place
Yeah.
up. I'm going to put these pictures up. I'm going to paint that wall and make it smell." I had peace, bro. This was the first
Mhm.
night I was able to sleep
Yeah.
without looking over my shoulder,
Wow.
not sleeping, finding what she's doing or what she's standing over me because this woman was lost,
Mhm.
bro. She was doing stuff just really trying to get me in the deepest trouble, domestic
Yeah.
violence stuff as ever. And I
Mhm.
said, God, I thank you for you had to take me out of that to put me in a place that he still protected me and put me in a
Yeah.
place of peace. And I didn't
Mhm.
understand because I'm looking at the natural, like
Mhm.
everything that I'm lost in, but he's the restorer of
Yeah.
everything that you lost. And I can sit here to this day and say
Amen.
that everything that I lost and invested in that house, I got
Yeah.
it back.
Yeah. Right.
And no lie. Even the money, bro. That's
Mhm.
when I'm talking about how God will give it back to you. I actually got back more than I lost in that
Yeah.
house. When I think about everything, I got back more. So I'm just saying,
Mhm.
man, sometimes, man, we just got to know what our piece is and get to it. And hopefully, the person that's in our life will understand what that looks like, and how we do this thing, man. What
That,
advice would we give to someone whose peace is being challenged by others? Here, first, before you answer that question, share the story about your friend that you lost. What's his name? I can't remember his name.
yeah. His name was Elmore Adams, man, and he was sick. You know, he was dealing with a lot of health issues and stuff. And I remember going to see him at the hospital, OSU. You know, and I kind of complained a little bit. I was like, because he had nice truck, car, motorcycle, all those things. I was like, man, I would like to have, Like, I like to have that. You got this night. And he looked at me and said, I'll trade with you. You can have all that. You stay in the hospital, let me be. He said, let me be you. And I got real quiet. Yeah. He was like, hey, I'll trade with you. You can have all that. But I'll take your peace and walk out the hospital, sit down and have a Coke and sit down outside.
Yeah.
A week later, he died. And that stuck with me for a long time. I said, man, he said, you got the ultimate peace. You got your health, man. You're able to, and yeah, you have the ultimate peace. Wow. I got to stay here, but you walk out the hospital. You may not have those things that I have, but you got more than what I have.
Wow.
You got peace and health, and I want to also say, man, that I'm thankful for my wife, man, because I know many nights, many days she was praying for me, and she probably knew that I was struggling the job and trying to maintain and be a responsible husband and stuff. And I know I'm thankful for her prayers, man, because I know it wasn't always easy for her, but she did a lot of praying for me, man, to help me stay at peace. So I gotta say I'm thankful to have a praying wife, a good wife that's been there for me, man, for 26 years. So
man, that's awesome. Is she there in the house, man? Is she in the house?
Yeah, she's with the grandbaby. She's upstairs.
All right. Yes,
she's watching.
Oh, she is. Hey, sis, how you doing? I love you from Ronnie. Ronnie always call me crazy. You crazy, man. That's good, man. I love hearing that story. And we say 26, 27 years, and reality is it always hasn't been easy, but y'all decided to lock in. Y'all locked into each other like two complete strange, man. And nobody can unlock that, man. Nobody can unlock it. So that's what, man, it's all about, man. Finding somebody that you can lock in with and making sure that you ain't gonna break. I don't care if you're just getting started. I'm speaking to anybody that's watching this. If you're just getting started in a relationship or thinking of a relationship, you got to be able to lock in the best way you possibly can. I don't know it all. I don't know. I'm not an expert at it. Curtis is not an expert at it, but we know we've been through some stuff to try to help us. So advice. What advice would we give to someone who is challenged by trying to find that peace and is being challenged by others? And we might, and I know I've spoken to some brothers, in my discussions, in my locker room talks that I have with men, and they're challenged with some questions, some real talk, man on man questions. And I know the ladies talk too. Y'all get together and y'all talk. I know you do.
Yeah.
Brothers, that's why I say it's healthy that men find themselves a network. And we talk about this all the time, Curtis, where we can just have that real talk.
Real talk.
It's good. I love the Lord and I won't take it back, but we don't always want to talk about the Bible. We want to talk about life and how we are making it in this today's life. Not saying we live it without him, but I want to be able to talk to you, man, about some real stuff.
And we need that. Sometimes that's what we just want to be transparent. This is what I'm going through. Yes. This is what I'm thinking. This is what I'm feeling right now.
Yes.
Without judgment, without saying, man, what's Bracy and Kurt? Why, just want to just speak out sometime. Hey, this is what I'm going through.
Right.
Right.
I never forget one time. I'm not a really drinker or something like that and smoker, but I was so angry one night. It was years ago. Don't judge me. I was in my 20s, living in New York. And I just wanted to see what this felt like, man. I went to the corner store and bought a Lucy cigarette. And I just wanted to know if this would bring me peace. And I'm driving in the car, all of myself smoking this cigarette, choking my brain out, man. That was the most nastiest, disgusting taste I ever had. But I just wanted to see if that was it. But that wasn't it. You got to figure out what it is, and how I figured out what my peace was. I went to some therapy. I went to some counseling. And I really dug deep. And the first thing they did, talk to me about my childhood. I already talked about this stuff. But one thing I know that brings me peace, and I'm going to show you what it is right now. Come here, girl. Come here. Come on. This one.
Man.
This little girl right here, this is Bella. And when I tell you this little girl brings me peace, you want to know why? Because regardless of what I do and how we argue, and if she make a mistake or tear something up and I get on her, she still loves me. That's that unconditional love that this little girl right here has for me. And I'm telling you, man, you have to find what brings you peace. And I'm not saying she covers everything, but for the most part of it, she brings me peace. She knows she can sense when I'm not feeling good. And
Yeah.
she wants to sit next to me on the couch while I'm watching TV. And I'm like, just leave me alone. And she won't leave until she get up on the
Mm.
couch and sit right next to me, won't bother me. She'll just lay right there. This is what this little girl, hi, say hi. This is what she'll do. Yeah. And when I take her out, people are amazed on how obedient she is. Because I'll
Yeah.
tell her, sit down, don't move. And she won't move. And they're like, oh my God, you got your dog so
Well,
trained. How did you do that? But this
well,
is
it's
this is,
therapeutic. It's
huh?
therapeutic. I mean, it's
Yeah,
good.
yeah,
It's
this
good
is
for the soul,
therapeutic.
man. Animals,
Right.
man. I mean, they
Yes.
bring peace and joy.
Peace and joy. They do.
Yeah.
Like I said, this is my Bella, and she brings me peace. That's why I said I'm at
Yeah.
home. I just want everybody to see my little girl Bella. She's been with me now, what, a year and a half? She's a year and a half old. She was born in March and she had her shots yesterday. Doctor said she's doing good. She loves carrots. We sit and watch. I put the camera on sometime, bro, when I leave the house, and she'll get up on the couch, man. I'm watching her. She's watching TV. Now, y'all
Mm.
say whatever you want to say. This little girl watch TV. So that I know that she will watch some stuff. So you see what I'm saying? What brings you peace? What brings you peace? This one does right here. And she's been down
Well,
here the whole time. And every time I get on the show and do a show or I'm at work, she don't bother me. She don't bark. She don't say nothing because she knows I'm working.
I know
And
my wife is probably saying, "Well, this is what you need." So,
yeah, Veronica, she's chiming in now. She's throwing up the love because I know your wife loves dogs. I know.
yeah,
Now, I
I may
know
have to get one now.
I'm just saying, man. This is my little piece. So listen, y'all that are on here, throw it in the chat. Throw it in the chat for me. Let me know what brings you peace. We're watching. If you got some questions, like we said, if
Mm.
you have some prayer requests, we can pray for you. I got a prayer line that I did mention in the beginning of it. We can throw the number back up again. I just want to mention it again. You can make your prayer requests anonymous. You don't even
Mm.
have to say who you are, but you can actually call in. How can we pray for you? You can call into this number that's on the screen, 214-295-5628, 214-295-5628. Let us know what's going on and how can we help bring you peace? Because this peace didn't come overnight, right, Kurt? This was a
Yeah.
journey.
Oh,
This
it's a journey.
this was definitely a journey, man. And so what I want to do is encourage the listeners that are on today, that are watching, to share their peace practices in the community forums. Talk about it. Find that person that you can trust. And we don't, no judgment zone. Ain't no judgment zone here with me and Kurt.
Yeah.
We, like I said, we like brothers, and we
Mhm.
listen and we pour into each other. We cry. We cuss. I've cussed. He ain't cussed. I've cussed sometime. I'm just being transparent. And I've gotten angry, about some stuff. But he listened to me. He said, "Man, well, you must be really mad, man, because you don't cuss and you." I've been angry, so this is the man that I had to go to and just hear me out. I needed him to hear me out. So we want to invite everyone to find that peace, find what it looks like for you, create a safe space for vulnerability with someone that you know that you will have a safe place, no judgment. This is going to stay right here, and that's it. You got to have that. And then ask for follow-up questions to go deeper, at later times. Go deeper with it. But we always say we've gone counseling. If you got
Yeah.
counseling for your job,
Mm.
professional counseling. Professional counseling will find a way and find a path for you to get a healthier life, a healthier way of living. Like the
Mhm.
video showed in the beginning, we were not created to live a stressful life, right? We were not
No.
created to live a worrying life. I
Mhm.
recall a time in my life, Curtis, I remember I would ride around in my car with my fists clenched.
Mhm.
Didn't realize it till after a while. I was like, whoa, what am I doing? That's because I was so tense and stressed.
Mhm. Yeah.
And we have to be careful
Mhm.
at our age now what we allow in to stress us out. We don't need it. We need to find a way to dump it.
Driving the bus, it's important that I always find an outlet after I come home from work and before I go to work, because you've driven before. You know how
Yeah,
all that stuff is bottled in. It's easy to snap, man.
very.
Lose your peace, man, and just next thing you know, you done did something like, what did I do?
Yeah, yeah.
So for me, it's really a balance, man. Before I go to work, when I come off from work, man, it's a real balance, man. To say, hey, okay, let me, maintain everything, and it could be challenging, man.
It is
There's
challenging. Some
days that,
people,
man, I get on the bus and I've cried on the bus. Man, I don't want to do this no more because stress and dealing with everything and
right,
the
right.
stress on the job, man. I mean, but it's just it can be tough,
It's tough,
you
man.
know.
You gotta have that
Uh,
avenue to find that way. Some people find
yeah,
peace in food. And
yeah.
I'll be honest with you. My piece is 2 glazed donuts and a chocolate milk. And everybody that knows me knows I love my 2 glazed donuts
Yeah.
and chocolate. No, it's not good. I hear it all the time. That ain't good for you. I get it, I know. But I've cut down. I don't do it every day no more. I used to do it every day. I don't do it every day no more. I cut down on it, but I realize it's not good. It's not good for
Mhm.
me. So, but
Yeah.
that's my piece, bro. And I
Yeah.
never forget when we drove bus together. I never forget, man. We call it Mother's Day, but it was the first of the month, because that's when it's gonna be crazy out there.
Yeah.
Everybody got
Mhm.
their groceries. I had to start my route off. I would stop at and get me 2 glazed donuts, 1 medium coffee, 1 cream, and 5 sugars. Look at that
Mhm.
sugar, what I had to put in me to give me peace while I'm driving that
Yeah.
bus.
Mhm.
Do that, but it kept me from the beginning of the line. You know how that went all the way Livingston Avenue,
Yeah.
all the way up to the other side of the west side of Columbus.
Yeah.
But that was my piece. So, man, I can't thank you enough. The time has gone by already, but I'm probably
Mhm.
going to continue this another episode of of what does real peace looks like, But like I say, people need to realize when they need help, and they need to say, "I
Yeah.
need help." We got the numbers up for prayer. I highly recommend, counseling and therapy. You don't have to have anything wrong to go to therapy and go to counseling. There's nothing wrong with doing that. So I want to make sure that everybody understands that it's nothing wrong because you went to go see a counselor or therapist. You just wanted somebody to help you, right?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
May I say something too before you
You sure
move on?
can. Yeah.
And it's good to have a pastor that you can go to, a church that you can go to, and I find that in my pastors, that you can talk to them and stuff like that, transparent and be honest, you know what I'm saying, and no judgment zone.
No
So
judgment. Yeah.
definitely
That
want to
part.
shout out that having a good church home and good pastors to talk to. So that's really good for those who have that.
Right. Right.
And if
Yeah.
you can find you a good church home, man, and it helps out a whole lot.
Absolutely. When I was in Columbus, Ohio, man, Pastor Bo Burns, he was my barber, right? And the pastor, man.
Yeah.
We all went to the same church,
And
you
my
know.
brother-in-law. So
Right, your brother. So yeah, Greater Glory Empowerment Temple, man, for
yeah,
years.
yes, sir.
That's where we went, but that's where we found it safe. We can go get a haircut and talk, real talk,
Yeah.
because I never forget, I told Bo, I said, I don't want to play no more. I don't want to do nothing no more. He says,
Yeah.
no, you're not gonna do that. You're not gonna give up like this
Yeah.
because of the stuff that I went through. So that's so important. Curtis Jones, listen, man, thank you so much for joining in off the spur of the moment, the last moment. I asked you to come on because I knew this would be a good show if you did come on and talk to me about it. You're in Columbus, Ohio. I'm in Dallas, Texas. Give a shout out to the family and everyone there.
Yeah.
Let them know that I said hello and I love everybody. Am I missing anything? My producers in the back, I'm trying to think, that I miss anything or miss anyone? Oh yeah, I want to talk about the buy me a coffee. I think I did talk about that. A way you can support the Embrace It Community podcast is buymeacoffee.com/embrace it. And like I said, $1, $2. Clean Nutra is another way that you can get these natural vitamins to go into your system. I take it every day. This is a really good vitamin supplement that I take. You put it in your food, your water, take it naturally. Go on the site, check it out, and there's how you can find out more about it. But these are ways to support the Embrace It Community podcast. So if you can do that, I would appreciate it so much. But Anything you want to say, my friend, before you leave? Don't leave the studio when I take you out of here. Anything else you want to tell the folks? Anything like that before you go?
I just want to say, hey, thank you for having me on your show. It's been a pleasure and an honor. And just remember, it's okay to talk about things, man. If you got someone you can talk to, man, and going through something, don't be ashamed. Just talk about it.
Don't be ashamed. That's the part where people seem to forget it, where it's okay to talk. We always say that, right? It's okay to talk.
Okay to talk.
Okay. Right? Lies. It's okay to cry. So those are the good things. It's okay to cry. Curtis Jones, thank you, man, for joining in once again. I know I can get you in another time for different topics. Like I said, don't go nowhere. Okay. All right, hold on. And I'm going to go ahead and close the show out, but don't go nowhere, man.
Okay.
All right. Yep. Hey, thank y'all so much for listening. Oh, man, this was good. Like I said, it's just real talk today, talking about what's real peace. What does that look like? Please don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review the podcast. Join the community on social media to continue this conversation and support one another on your journeys and transformation. You can reach me on Facebook. You can reach me on YouTube, Instagram as well. Those are the three main avenues, but I really need you to follow me on YouTube. That's a good avenue. So I'm just trying to build up followers on there too. I love doing this. You know why I love doing this? Because I love you. And the reason why I love you is because I love me first. So until we meet again next Sunday, it's going to be another good topic. So stay tuned. You'll hear about the promo during the week. All right. Continue to support me. That's all I ask you to do. Continue to show the love. Drop your comments. Drop your concerns. Don't forget, if you need prayer, we left the number for you too if you need prayer. All right. Subscribe, YouTube, Embrace the Community Podcast as well. And if you need prayer, you want to leave your prayer request, you can leave it anonymous, or you can make it known who you are. Leave your prayer request for us on the prayer number that we have. Let's see if we can throw that up back on the screen right before we go. 214-295-5628. That's 214-295-5628. All right. So enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Enjoy the rest of your week. Know that I'm here praying for you. Keep praying for me, your boy, Bracy Goodwin, the fourth. Like I said before, I love you because I love me first. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Embrace It, the community podcast. We'd love to hear from you. Follow the community podcast page on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube. Please like and share the podcast with your community circle.